Welcome to my video. This is Matt from Surprise Comics coming back at you with a contest video. This contest is for AJ Surfer's contest. And before I get into it, I'm finishing up my contest right now. I have 10 entries so far. I'll go ahead and throw your names up on the page. If you didn't see your name on there, that means you haven't entered or I haven't seen your entry. The contest closes the last day of this month, so on the February 1st, I'll look to see everyone who's entered, and I'll go ahead and do the drawing there for the prize. So go ahead and get your name in and let me know if you make an entry. A lot of people said they were planning on it. Haven't seen that many, so either way, it's been fun watching everyone's entries and hope to see a few more before the contest closes. All right, so let's move on. Back to AJ Surfer. He started out his contest by showing a a Mickey Mantle jersey with a big number 7 on it, and that has what he's doing with his contest. I don't have any baseball jerseys, but I do have this cheesy Willie Mays commemorative plate, and so I figured I'd put that out there to show some love for Willie Mays. And, he's the greatest non-enhanced baseball player of all time. With all due respect to Willie Mays and Babe Ruth and Roberto Clemente and all them other greats from the past. And the more recent ones, I can't assume who is and who isn't enhanced, so it's really hard to say that. But of course, if we're looking at enhanced players, we'd have to go with Barry Bonds as the greatest player of all time, but it's hard to know who was and who wasn't. So back in olden times, we assumed these guys didn't take steroids because they didn't look like the guys do nowadays. So anyways, enough about baseball and steroids and stuff, but there's Willie Mays for you on my little commemorative plate. So we'll move him over the side and let him check out my submission for the contest. So I decided for the 7 heroes, 5 of them are going to come from this Final Crisis series. I picked up this whole run pretty cheap, and actually I'll have dollar bins. They're missing 2 of them, so I won't get all 7. I think one of them's Darkseid anyway, so it would only be 6 if I had all of them, but I got 5. So we start with Green Lantern. What can you say about Hal Jordan Green Lantern, the original Silver Age Green Lantern, the one everyone cares about, knows and loves. Power Ring, the most powerful weapon. It's kind of, he doesn't have superpowers himself. He gets it from his weapons. And, without the ring, he's just a normal guy. Next up, we got Flash. And these covers are done by J.G. Jones. Very awesome looking covers. Very nicely done and really kind of stand out. We got the Flash, fastest man alive, Barry Allen. One of my favorite heroes as a kid. I always loved the Flash because I was always one of the fastest kids in my class, but never the fastest. And I always wish I had super speed so I could be really fast and be good at sports and stuff like that. That'd be so tempting. If I had superpowers, I'd be using them on like basketball and football and stuff, not on actually doing something good. So that's probably a good thing we don't have superpowers nowadays. Next, we got number 3, Final Crisis, number 3 of 7. The third one is Supergirl. Always a big fan of Supergirl. I like her character in the animated series during the 90s and early 2000s. Always was a really well done character. Really captured her, I think, very well in that. The new TV series, for me, I've liked about 80% of the Supergirl TV series so far. I love how they're bringing in all these characters and all these villains and stuff. That's real exciting. But, it has the whole, this, to me, I compare it to Gotham from last season. Gotham from last season, I really enjoyed it, except for the character of Fish Mooney. Every time she came on the show, it was just like Jar Jar Binks showing up and just killed it, and it was dumb, and I hated it. And I feel the same way every time Supergirl interacts with her boss. I can't remember, Calista Flockhart, Cat Deely or whatever they call her. Such an annoying, obnoxious character. I don't like it. I don't like how the character interacts with her. I don't like how she looks up to her, and it's just obnoxious. And it really brings down the whole series for me. So hopefully they can correct the same problem Gotham had and get rid of the character that's killing the series. And if you like her, cool. It's just my opinion. But to me, not a good character. Up next, we got Wonder Woman. Another beautiful cover here. Wonder Woman, the first, real woman superhero. And DC just kills it with women superheroes. I was at a comic shop a month or two ago, and we were talking about how Marvel is doing all these things to bring in more female superhero characters and stuff. And DC doesn't even have to do that because they have such a deep bench of women superheroes. If you name the top 10 female superheroes, 8 out of the 10 are going to be DC characters. They just, have always been, and it really goes all the way back to Wonder Woman because from the foundation, from the beginning, they had a strong female character, and from that we get all the other female characters that have come forward. Batgirl, Supergirl, Black Canary, and so forth. Catwoman. The last one for these Final Crisis covers, I don't have number 7, which is Superman, but I got number 6, which is Batman, and of course Batman's my favorite character, and his whole family and stuff. That's really, out of superhero comics I read nowadays, if it's not Gotham related, I'm probably not reading it. There's a few issues here and there I'll pick up just to see what's going on, events and things like that. But to me, that's the most entertaining thing in superheroes. And that's everything out of Gotham, the Red Hood, Grayson, Batgirl, all those titles, We Are Robin and stuff like that. That's what I enjoy reading the most, and that's what I'm mostly into. So Batman, we had, Superman was the first superhero with superpowers and stuff, and Batman was the second one that came along, and he came in and did it all with his mind and tricks and strategy and brains. And so it's really the big, I'm looking forward to that Batman v Superman movie just to see how they portray that on the big screen. How can you overcome might with mind? And that's really what Batman's all about. For my last 2 superheroes, I'm going to go into a non-superhero, but definitely still heroes. I'm going with The Walking Dead with Rick Grimes. What can you say about Rick Grimes? I've read Walking Dead. The first 100-ish or so I read in trays, and I've been collecting it ever since like 97. And what a great character. The way he's, he started out as this reluctant leader that, kind of just made up things as he went along. And now he's, has a vision and has a plan and is like leading huge groups of people. And even though he's still very unsure of himself and, he's more, thrust upon this leadership role. It's not something he ever set out to achieve or get. It's great. And that's really the best leaders are the ones who are called, not the ones who call themselves. Anything about with all the, not to get political or anything, but, you think about how important a president of the United States or president of any country is and how much responsibility it is and how much, you have to go through. And when I think about who would be a good president or what would make a good president, the last person on that list is myself. But, we live in a world where the only people who run for those positions are the people who think about who should be president, and their best answer is to look in the mirror. And, anyone with that kind of attitude about themselves probably shouldn't be in charge. But unfortunately, the only people who get in charge are the people who have that attitude about themselves. And the last one, to go with the same theme of Walking Dead, I'm going to go with Carl Grimes. And, another great character. Came into a world as a child that was just chaotic and crazy and learned how to survive, learned from his father, even with all the hard things that he had to go through. So, great character, great stories. And he also, AG Surfer, also want to show off some of our movies. Fortunately, most of my favorite movies are, either digital or they're in DVDs. My wife and I put the cases away for our DVDs a long time ago. I was able to find a few Blu-rays and actually one DVD. So I'll go ahead and go through those real quick for you. First up, we have Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Great movie. Great cast. Well done. It's a Coen Brothers movie. I love the Coen Brothers movies. Every time they come out, just really well done. Great filmmakers. To go with that, I also got True Grit. Another Coen Brother movie. It's a remake of a John Wayne movie from back in the day. The original is really good. This one's even better. Really good at the character development, the dark humor, the way things. There's some great storytellers, cinematography, and all that stuff. Really well done. Next one I have. This is actually a movie that it wasn't, to be honest, it didn't do great in the box office. Ender's Game, but it is based off my favorite book, and I think for having read the book and knowing the book as well as I did, and knowing, I'm not a movie expert by any means, but I do know quite a bit about it, and I've done a lot of research and studying in college and other places about filmmaking. And for what they had to do as far as telling the story, they did the best they could without making it like a 7-8 part series. A little controversy when the movie came out, which was a shame for all the people who worked really hard on it because it had nothing to do with the actual movie. That's fun if I definitely say watch the movie. I'd recommend it to anyone, but I'd recommend the book even higher. There's also a graphic novel based off of this, which they did a really good job with that one too. Next up, we have Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. Of all the Justice League movies that they've made in recent years, this by far to me is the best one. And if you like the DC animated one, this is the one to start with. This is the one that really knocks it out of the park. And then to finish it up, I got my favorite TV series the last few years, at least sitcom. The show Community. It's a hilarious show. Really funny. Dan Harmon created it. Joel McHale, Chevy Chase, and all the people they have in this show are just hilarious. Donald Glover. Interesting fact, when the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the one with the newer ones, I forget what the actor's name is. It's just eluding me right now. There's actually a lot of talk about having Donald Glover star in that movie as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. And he has athletic build. He's funny, but he can also he's kind of dorky and nerdy, and he can kind of pull off both Peter Parker and the Amazing Spider-Man at the same time with this way his personality is and stuff like that. And a lot of people got into it, and there's a whole Twitter campaign to get him the role. And obviously we know he didn't actually get the role, but paying attention to this, or some people at Marvel who saw how popular the Black Spider-Man was, and Donald Glover is actually the inspiration for Miles Morales as far as his appearance and his personality and stuff. So if you watch this show, you've seen Donald Glover's comedy. I think he was also in The Martian recently. That's kind of where the whole Peter Parker. He's also a rapper of some sort. I forget what his rap name was. I mostly know him from this show. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, AG. Congratulations on a year of success on YouTube. Hopefully we'll have many more years of watching your videos. Thanks. I hope you had a good time.